Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Omni viewer, and as you know by now, I'm concerned about the upcoming Godzilla anime film. As I've said on multiple occasions, we've gotten 2 images so far, and none of them have shown even a hint of Godzilla anywhere in them. This has had me very concerned as to exactly where the focus of the film will be. As I've mentioned in other videos, focus isn't necessarily the same as screen time. There have been plenty of Godzilla movies where Godzilla hasn't really been on screen all that much, and yet the focus has still been on him. By which I mean every decision the humans make, no matter how small or how big, somehow comes back to him because his very presence affects what they do. And naturally, the same is true for all the other monsters that might show up. I have also mentioned elsewhere, including in the Pacific Rim videos I've recently done, that teaser images are meant to convey a sense of tone, direction, and focus. So the more the Godzilla anime has come up, the more I've been trying to figure it out. Even back at the beginning, I was trying to decipher what these images could possibly have to do with Godzilla when they don't show anything that even remotely resembles a kaiju movie. At least on the surface level. So it was the same morning I recorded this video, which for me was just a couple of hours ago, that a light bulb went on. Perhaps these images have been telling us more about Godzilla's role in the film than it appeared at first glance. Let's put the second teaser image to the side for now. I think it's pretty clear that's a piece of concept art for a scene in the movie, maybe even a storyboard frame, who knows. Let's turn our attention back to the first image. This particular image basically serves the same purpose as a movie poster. So I've been trying to figure this image out, and I think, I just don't get it. It looks like this movie is about man going into a hostile environment and making it about man versus nature and... Oh. Yeah, that basically was my thought process. I think I figured out what this image is telling us about Godzilla's role in the film. Do you all remember this poster for the legendary Godzilla? It was a Comic-Con exclusive released in 2013. And it was the first image we got associated with the film. Now obviously it wasn't meant to be taken literally, this wasn't a movie where Godzilla was made of rubble, but figuratively it actually did tell us quite a bit. It was going to be a very dark, serious film. There was going to be an emphasis on the destruction. And anything that could cause destruction on this level would have to be really powerful. So in many ways, it was a good poster for a Godzilla movie. The anime image doesn't show anything of an urban nature. It's putting the emphasis on the environment, a vast, foreboding wilderness you do not want to go into without the proper equipment, and even then, you've still gotta be on your toes. And it is a vast environment in which humans are just tiny little specks. And this is the image chosen to represent Godzilla. It would appear we're looking at a man versus nature style plot, wherein Godzilla and any kaiju who might be coming along with him are part of that hostile environment. It's kind of harkening back to those movies we got in the late 60s and early 70s where all of the action took place on island environments. Movies like Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, Son of Godzilla, or Space Amoeba. However, even in those movies, there were still hints of civilization on those islands. Specifically, civilizations that were just contemporary enough to justify big action set pieces. The anime movie seems to be going for something a bit more in the vein of Robinson Crusoe, or for more recent examples, The Revenant or The Grey. The kaiju have been represented as forces of nature before, but always in the form of tornadoes or hurricanes, the kind of storms that rip through cities and destroy everything. They come into our territory. This movie appears to be reversing it. Now it's the humans going into their territory. Perhaps that is the direction the Godzilla anime film is going. I have no proof of this beyond how I am interpreting the images themselves. Yet it is still possible. And if that is the case, then perhaps the focus really will be on the kaiju the whole time. If this is a story about man versus the natural environment and the kaiju are part of that natural environment, then they will always be present, even if they're not always specifically on screen. In a forest that dense, even a giant could be hiding just around the corner. So that alone would be enough to keep Godzilla in focus, even if he isn't necessarily on camera the whole time. What do you guys think? Does that sound plausible? Do you have a different way of looking at these images? Feel free to leave your comments below. Until such time as we meet again, this is the Omni Viewer signing off.